and welcome to our video. Today we're going to be going over some basic circus shapes. So Emily is here and I am Megan and we're going to show you some of the shapes. So let's get started. Alright, so first shape that we like to go over is our cat shape. Now, a cat shape might look very simple, but it's actually a little bit technical. So first thing we're going to be looking for is if Emily has her shoulders tracking over the top of her wrist, which basically means we want it to be in a nice straight line, not like this and not like this, and that looks perfect. But Emily, could you show us if your shoulders were too far backwards? So this doesn't really look much like a cat shape, does it? And what about if her shoulders are too far forward? And that looks like she's going to fall over. So not like that either. Another important thing about our cat shape is making sure that our knees have enough distance between themselves. So you put your hands together, and if you put it in between your knees, that's usually a very good indicator that it's at a good distance. And then we put our hands back and our shoulders are over the top of our wrists. If Emily had her knees together though in her cat shape, if I gave her a bit of a push, she would sway and wobble and she would fall over. And not very good, okay? So that is our important things to keep in mind about our cat. And not too wide either. What's another shape that we like to do? Ooh, a happy cat. So we're really articulating through our spine and making sure it's really curved. We're lifting our chest up towards the sky. And our tailbone, if you pretend like you have a cat tail, is sticking up nice and high too. What about our angry cat? Everyone's favorite, everyone loves this one. We're curving our spine now, looking for your belly button and trying to hide your cat tail all the way underneath your legs. And you can go from your happy cat to your angry cat a couple of times too. It helps really warm up your back and your spine. Should we do a disco cat? Everyone likes that one. A disco cat looks a bit silly, but you're going to go in a big circle from your happy cat to your angry cat.
Oh, I'm dizzy.
Don't get
from
too dizzy.
angry cat.
We're going to go out to our crocodile shape or a front support. You might know it as that as well. Now, for a front support or a crocodile shape, you don't want your bottom sticking up too high because that is a different shape. And you definitely don't want your bottom sticking down too low because that's like a seal and it's very hard to hold. So you want to be right in the middle of those two shapes. We're squeezing our belly, squeezing our bottom, squeezing our legs nice and strong. Emily has her shoulders over her wrists again. They're not too far forward and they're definitely not too far backwards. Perfect. Our next shape is going to be our bear or our mountain shape. So we've lifted our tail all the way up towards the sky. We've got straight legs. Emily, could you show us what it looks like if we have bent legs? This is still kind of the shape, but it's not what we're really after. So we're lengthening through the back of our legs so it's really straight and tall, and we're pushing all of our weight down into our hands through our shoulders. Excellent. And you can come back, forwards and backwards through your crocodile and your bear or your mountain shape.
Without moving your hands or your feet.
Yes, without moving your hands or your feet. Perfect. Should we then take it to our superhero holds? So Emily has got her feet squeezing together as hard as she possibly can. Pretend like you've got a piece of string in between your heels, and if someone was trying to pull that string away, you're squeezing so hard that it won't escape from your feet. Her arms are stretched out as far as she can, and when she's ready, she's going to try to lift her hands off the ground, and if you want to take it even harder, you can try to lift your heels off the ground as well. So now the only part of Emily's body that's on the floor is her belly and the top of her hips, and you can relax. Try to hold it for about 5 seconds, maybe 10 if you're feeling super brave and super strong. Do it maybe 3 or 4 times, but make sure you have a big rest in between.
Should I hold it like this?
No, we do not hold it like that. We want to have our feet together so we're lengthening through. Eventually, you'll be working on your handstands, and this is a perfect example of our handstand shaping. Excellent. And what is the next shape we're going to do?
Crab.
Oh, a crab shape. Now this one is a little bit tricky. We're going to sit on our bottom and we're going to push our feet into the ground. Think about your heels are stuck to the floor, and we're going to lift our belly up as high as it possibly can go. And your goal is to have your knees and your shoulders be completely flat. So we made a flat line like this. Can you show us what it looks like if your hips are down a little bit too low, Emily? This isn't so much of a crab shape. That's a lazy crab shape. We want to push up as much as we possibly can. An important thing to remember about our crab shape is that your fingers are actually facing your toes. So if Emily turned her hands around the other way, she will find it very difficult for her to lift herself up as high. Does that feel good, Emily, in your shoulders?
Hurts my elbows.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great. So fingers facing your toes and lift up as high as you possibly can. If you've got this shape really well, you can actually do a 3-legged crab. I'm going to make Emily try that one. So she's going to cross one foot over the top and put it on top of her knee and see if she can hold it. And then you can try the other side as well. And then if you get super good at those, you can do a 2-handed crab by taking your opposite hand off to your opposite leg. That's pretty good, Emily. That's awesome. Collapse for Emily. And then trying on the other side. This is actually very tricky. Emily's making it look very easy, I promise you.
And then let's flip it to a mounted bear.
All right, we're going to flip it over to a bear. So watching Emily very closely, she's just adjusted that hand because she's going to turn towards the camera and she's going to turn her hand and then her hips follow until she finishes up in her bear or her mountain shape. From here, you can always reverse it back into that crab shape. So legs go first and her hips twist. That arm comes over the top and she pushes herself up nice and tall back in towards that crab shape. And you can do that as many times forward and backwards, but make sure you go left side and right side, not just one. I'll move out of the way. Because if you only practice one side, then you'll only be able to do cartwheels and things like that on one side. And ideally, you want to be able to do it on both sides. Baby lunge. Yeah, let's do our baby lunge. All right, so kneeling on your knees, you're then going to take one of your feet in front of you. Now, with this shape, it's very important that it's square. So you're trying to think about you've made a window with both of your legs, your front leg and also your back leg. So Emily, could you show us what will happen if your foot was too close to your other knee? So that doesn't really look like a window. It's a very strange window. So what if we take that foot too far forward? What will that look like? Now it looks like Emily's really struggling to hold it. So she's going to move her foot back just a little bit so she's nice and even and square. From there, Emily, if she would like to, she can try to stand up and make it into a big lunge or an adult lunge. She tucks her toes under and she goes all the way up nice and high. But as you see, when she goes back down, this front knee stays in the same spot. Go back down. Like that. And so that is our baby lunge. Do we have any other shapes that we wanted to go over? Was that it?
That's it.
I think that was it. Those are the basics. All right, see you later.